Okay, we're back. That was the shortest hour ever of my life. Matt, how are you doing? Did you caffeine up? Did you rest? Did you eat food? What's been happening in the middle of the night over there in on the East Coast?
Uh, I did not have to get any more caffeine. Plenty of sleep this past afternoon, so I'm all caught up on that. I did some stretching, did a little bit of workout just to get some blood flowing. But the most important thing is I swapped out my headphones. So I was using my, uh, what would that be? My audiophile headphones, my Grados SR80E headphones earlier, but they put too much pressure on my head and they pinched my ears the with my glasses, and so that was really bothering me. So I just picked these off of my racing sim rig, and they're much more comfortable. So hopefully that won't be an issue anymore. But other than that, not much. How about you? Did you get anything done?
Tons, tons and tons and tons. So I have to catch up the stream on all the happenings in the break because I went to 7-Eleven. I got 100% berry juice. I got a canned iced coffee. I got my customary dry fruit, which today is mixed berries. I got
Nice.
a strawberry Snickers, a caramel Twix, something for my chapped lips, a bottle of pH 9.0 water, which is the best still water in all of Taiwan, and last but certainly not least, I got a wow double seaweed roll.
So did you just go into the 7-Eleven and like scoop everything off the shelf into your
Pretty much.
cart and then walk out? Is that what I'm hearing?
I also had a walk around the expo, and um, just for people's understanding, it is massive. There are two halls, so there's Tinex 1 and Tinex 2. We are in Tinex 1, but even within Tinex 1, there are two main show floors. Somewhat confusingly, they're called Floor 1, which is the ground floor, which is what I'm on, and Floor 4. And the reason it's called Floor 4 is because the ceilings are so high that the escalator is actually the length of four floors. So that's why they decide to call it the fourth floor. So if you're ever coming here as a visitor, just be aware, even though there's a first and a fourth floor, that doesn't mean that there's four exhibition floors. I've spent almost no time over on Tinex 2. I did last year. I believe there's also two exhibition floors over there, so four total floors. Uh, in the break, I pretty much only had time to walk around the fourth floor, which was very crowded. I always thought that the first day is the most crowded, but I did hear from someone on a visitor pass that the line to grab a visitor pass was something like 3 hours long.
Wow.
So I believe certain people just gave up yesterday. Where that stand where you pick up your pass is open again today. So in theory, there could be much as many twice as many people here today compared to yesterday. Right, onto the comp though. We have got almost the same lineup on as someone is saying good luck Spoky. Yes, I hope Spoky does well. Um, Almost the same lineup as yesterday morning, and the same seating. One bencher has been swapped around. So we have Hansky, who had an impressive showing on the OCF yesterday, closest to the camera, and Spoky with his customary hat in the middle position, just like yesterday. However, third position in the hat and the glasses, a little bit hard to make out, is our main man, Biso Biso. So, considering he has ultra sandbagged this comp so far, we're going to see a lot out of him. And we may be stuck for we may, no, it may be hard to keep up because not only do we need to catch up on Spoky, who unfortunately didn't have a working capture setup yesterday, we also, I at least, I'm extremely curious to see what Bisu cooks up because he's got a lot of work to do, but I think it's by design. I think he's got a strategy. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I put this in chat. There's really no room for mistakes or problems today. These guys, this is the last chance they have to get into the finals, and Biso definitely took a unique approach in sandbagging, more or less, in preparing his setup for today, theoretically. Spoky had a rough time of it yesterday, but he was able to fill out at least 3 of the stages. And Hansky had 4 stages filled out, but as you stated earlier, he had his Pi Prime stage pulled because he had, I highly doubt it was intentional, but his clock frequency was too high on the CPU. So he's got some work to put in as well. Biso's got a lot of work, but I'm guessing he's got a profile set up where it's going to be bam, 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 knocking out a bunch of stages, and he can work off of that for a while. And the other 2, I think, just have a bit more fine-tuning for each of their stages. Maybe they got some work done earlier today or yesterday, fine-tuning things, since they had yesterday afternoon off and this morning. So we're going to see what comes out of it.
As we're still in the preparation section of this session, I'm taking the opportunity to go over to the world record stage, even though I do highly encourage people who are interested in that to go to Scatterbencher's YouTube. I'm just curious if anyone in chat decided to go over there and not take a break. That'll be interesting to hear, whether people are so addicted to XOC they just didn't want to break at all. Another kind of semi reason to be on this view is that I feel like this is the best camera view of Biso we've got. Like, he ends up being covered up by other computers, other people on the stage less. Still not great. I'm already sort of taking notes for next year. I feel like it's going to be tricky with the LED wall there, but if I can get some kind of center camera squeezed into the stage, because it's all a learning process, right? Like last year, I only had this camera to work off of, so the world record stage was essentially entirely invisible. This year, I thought that adding the opposite angle was good enough, but I now sort of realize that the stage is so long, there is a case to be made for a center camera. But I'm guessing they're keeping the LED wall, so that would mean mounting it on the desk somehow, which always opens up to potentially LN2 being spilt on it or someone knocking it off. So have a think about that. I mean, I have a year. I already told Matt the dates for next year are already set, 1st to the 4th of June 2027. So mark your calendars, everyone. Computex is already booked in. Of course, we'll have to see what happens with the G.Skill comp in terms of rule changes, competitor changes, maybe even prize pool changes. Who knows? Matt, what? Let's go deep in the tank here. What, now that we pretty much know this year's setup, what are like the top 1 or 2 changes off the top of your head you'd like to see if it was up to you?
Cool. Top 1 or 2 changes I would like to see. Wow, that's a tough question. If I had to change things, I would like to see, I'm going to go this way. Because guys are basically pre-binning their CPUs, if they get to... Well, first thing I would do is I would say provide CPUs provided by the venue, or G.Skill or Intel or whatever. If that's not viable, I would say increase the clock limit to maybe 6.5 gigahertz. Make it so that they have to bin for core and IMC. That would be a fun change. Second thing would be if we could get another iGPU stage. I think that would be very interesting. But look, I get why they've got clock limits. I am not by any means saying that's a bad thing. And I'm not saying they should even get rid of them. But pushing it to a limit where not every chip can automatically achieve it, I think would be very, very interesting and make things a bit more complicated for the benchers. So they would have to maybe balance IMC versus core quality when it comes to temperature management. Because right now they're just looking for the optimal temperature for the IMC. But if that came at the cost of CPU core, that would be interesting in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always people probably know this about me. I'm always an outside the box thinker, so I'm more in the radical changes kind of camp. I love to see, like you say, more IGPU benching. I'd love to see, like, totally outside the comfort zone type. Speed fastest. Hey, thanks for joining the stream. Type selections for the stages. So even I don't think we should increase the number of stages. I don't think that's really in anyone's interest. 6 is already a lot. However, how about B clock or like just something even more off the wall than evolve? Also feel like I know it's there's always a space limitation and all that. I would actually like to see a move from 3 to 4 benches on the stage. I don't know how practical that is, but if you could set it up as 2 1v1s simultaneous, or even the same format as now with an extra bencher, it doesn't feel like there should be spots in which periods in which there is no benching going on, but there often is with 3. 4, you're just increasing the chances of something being ongoing. So now we're with Hansky. What's he up to in his group policy editor?
I'm not sure, but one thing I want to state is if you added another bencher, you're adding complexity to the streaming PC that you have to build for next year. So
I'm down for
keep
that.
that in mind as well.
So he's enabling page locking, which is typically isn't it the 32M tweaked in order to be able to run the most aggressive right-click tweak for 32M? I thought that was what page locking does. It used to be relevant for Y Cruncher as well, but then a new version came out and kind of made it slower or something. Yeah, okay, so he's getting ready. I should probably look at my little schedule. What benches are we even benching? So it's not frequency anymore, that's for sure. There's definitely
all of them.
Yeah, that's right. It's a free-for-all now. But keep in mind these benchers have 2 benches which they have to get a score out in because they were not part of the first session. So for these guys, that is 5B and Evolve, unless I'm mistaken. So expect to see a lot of 5B and Evolve, and then whatever else they find the time for.
Yep. Actually, I'm going to be right back, especially since the guys aren't going too hard right now, so give me one moment.
Go for it. So Biso's looping 32M, which I can't blame him for because it's obviously the greatest benchmark of all time. Baron. I can't exactly. Yeah, one. It's in the ballpark, but it's nothing special yet. So I believe this is the first time we have 3 hatted benchers on stage. That's worth pointing out. Everyone's got their hat game on, so that's good. What's going on with my laptop? Is it like power throttling or something? It's really slow. Okay. Throwing in a reboot.
Says, I like the idea of a game test that is very memory dependent at reasonable resolution, like if you remember Far Cry 4, but would have to be consistent in-game test. That would be very cool. I'm not sure. I think it's one of those things where you're going to have a lot harder time of avoiding odd tweaks because you don't want a situation where, like, you'd have to mandate certain settings because you don't want people running tests or LOD. I'm not sure like a Far Cry in-game benchmark would actually be able to catch those kinds of tweaks. So definitely something you'd have to keep an eye out for, but I do like the idea for sure.
So another thing that happened during the break was I spotted Dr. Ian Cuttress on the show floor talking to someone, if you know who that is. Is it Tech Potato? Is that his YouTube channel? Someone in chat will know. Used to work for Intel, does a lot of Okay, obviously drawing a blank with Matt there. Yeah, okay, let's pull up his channel. Let's not faff
Well,
about here.
We've got Biso running Super Pi. Let's see how he's doing. That's a very fast init. Let's pull up his Senses score and compare them. Loop 15 is 247.3. 15 is 247.4. So he's actually ahead of Sens at the moment. So this is what you were talking about. Biso doing all that prep and locking in on the very end. So this might be the meta if Biso can pull this out.
I met this person, Tech Potato, aka Dr. Ian Cuttress. Isn't there a yeah, there's a bio here. Let's see. Dr. Ian Cuttress. Saw him on the floor. Just thought I'd mention that. Like, it's kind of a celebrity. You don't seem to be very excited, but okay, let's go back to the 32M then. He's cancelled.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen that guy's channel before.
Check it out. It's actually good, which most of YouTube isn't anymore. I think Spoky was still in bias last time I checked, or no signal. Okay, Hansky is in bias now, so let's go back to Biso.
Yeah, Biso getting good in nits. Hopefully he can pass this, because if it's anything like it was running, he is ahead of Sens on loop 1. So this will be very interesting to see if he can pull it out. I'm going to be excited to see his frequency settings, because he had mad frequencies through Pi Prime. Or was that was Pi Prime, I'm pretty sure. What was it, 7-zip? Am I losing my mind? Let's see here. Stage 3 is 7-zip. So mad frequencies through 7-zip. Let's see if he can follow it up. Speedfast asks what memory speed Biso running. We don't know that until he finishes a run and pulls up his CPU Z tabs. Then we can get a bit more information. So it's kind of like flying. We're flying blind right now as far as settings go, but it's definitely something we can follow is his loops. Super Pi is great for this, by the way. You can follow the loops, and if you've got a second monitor at home, you can pull up the competition in the HW bot and check out Sens' score, who is currently in first, and see how he's comparing. Loop 3 is 34,798. So, yep, he's slightly ahead of Sens at the moment.
Is Sens the best score? I've forgotten.
Yes, Sens is currently in first in the competition.
I mean, specifically in the 32M.
Yes.
Okay. Because for the longest time it was Surge, so there was a little bit of, maybe it was when I don't know if some scores have been pulled, or maybe I wasn't paying attention after you went to sleep yesterday, but there was a period of time where everyone was running 32M, but I didn't see any runs completed. But obviously he knocked one out there, because yeah, for the longest time he was second, I believe. Alright, laptop's alive, that's good. I only just bought this.
8
so
is 129.9. 8 is 1 minute 30. So yep, he's pulling ahead a little bit, not by a lot, but once you get here where memory frequency and timings are your limitation, and you're getting these top contenders running over 1,000 or 10,000 mega transfers per second, the smallest differences are really hard to get. So even 100 milliseconds is going to be a massive improvement over Sens if he can pull this off. And this is what I was talking about. If you can post up good scores, you're making your opponents focus on you. If you can start knocking out great scores now, your opponents have to work on beating you later. So that might pull their attention away from another score that they would otherwise want to work on. It's very interesting.
I like the Speed Fastest comment of, I think he's a bit too fast. That sounds nonsensical, but actually so true of OCWC. Often when I'm beating my existing score by a lot, 32M, that just means I'm about to fail the run. You wanna be fast, but not too fast, even though that makes no sense.
We'll see. We'll see. It would be.
Well,
I
he
mean,
just had a not exact, so yeah, the comment from Speed Passes is bang on the money.
just add more voltage. That's what you got to do.
Oh, sure, that's how it always works, right? Spoky.
That was so when I had my YouTube channel when I started it back up in 2021 or the end of 2020, I think it was. I actually had a logo. I've got a coffee mug. We had some merch where it was just add voltage, and it had a little CPU with a lightning bolt going into it. That was pretty fun. And that was my motto when I was overclocking, was just add voltage. And I wasn't even running on LN2 back then. That was all ambient. So
due to the capture card issues, we had no Spoky yesterday morning. So I'm attempting to rectify the imbalance in terms of coverage by focusing on him whenever he's in OS, and he's currently in OS, and he is going to town because he's decided to start the session on 5B, which is a pretty hardcore bench to start with. That's like, you got to be in the right frame of mind for this thing.
Oh, you're screwing him over though. Caster curse. Every time you look, it's going to be crashing. But Lumi makes a really good point in chat. Slow score better than no score, and that's what we were saying earlier. It's like you got to fill out these stages because you never know how your afternoon or your second session is going to go. If you're in a situation where your first session was working fine, but you spent all of your time tweaking, if your second session doesn't go well, you aren't going to fill out the stages, and you're not going to be in the finals.
Well, he is choosing to go the route of in-OS tweaks, and just as I say that, he reboots. Okay, he tried a few things in OS, and now he knows he's not. Oh, he just... See that? He just went like to the camera.
Yep.
Hopefully that's not a sign of resignation. Hopefully that's just like trying to build meme material. Because it's a bit too early in the session to be resigned. I tell you that much.
For sure, especially if you're starting on Y Cruncher, you gotta expect a couple crashes before you get a good run in. I am happy that he started with Y Cruncher because I know you and I were talking earlier how we might try for something easy first, but if you knock out the hard one, like if you knock out Y Cruncher, it's like, okay, run Y Cruncher, get it done, then I know pretty much all the other benches should pass through these settings. So then you can fill out at least the rest of the stages and then start fine-tuning them. So that's definitely another strategy you can use.
I do realize we've shown an awful lot of 32M on this stream so far, both days. And I do realize we've shown an awful lot of Biso, but he's the only one benching right now. So we'll just watch him for a bit, see what's going on. Last time we checked, he was on a run that was too fast and he got coefficient too large. I'm assuming this run is a little bit slower.
It looks slightly slower, but it's still beating Sens at the moment, which is what you need. So he changed something that's helping.
So help me out here. What does he currently have up in this stage? Because he's the mega sandbagger. Should he really be on this stage? Like, shouldn't he be doing, I don't know, Evolve or something?
Biso only has Pi Prime, or is it Pi Prime or 7-zip? He only has 7-zip up. Yeah, so he's got to get everything going. He's got to work out everything.
In that case, he's, you know, I think 32M is a good palate cleanser. I approve of his choice there. I believe we do have a Hansky in OS in what looks like a 32M run. Oh my god, Microsoft Teams, just delete that crap.
Obviously a restart.
Choice there. I'm very critical of people's like OS setups. He like click the taskbar in order to restart the rig. I don't know, man. Like, wouldn't that be something that... Okay, you don't want to corrupt the OS, so you don't want to use the physical buttons on the board, but If that were me, I would hit the Windows key on the keyboard and then arrow up and enter, enter. But maybe I'm just an old person who does things old school.
We each have our own idiosyncrasies when it comes to overclocking. I know that I drive everyone nuts because I don't make all of the buttons that make you able to fly through things quickly. I don't use command line for anything or batch files. I just do everything manually, and I've met several benchers that want to, by the end of my bench session, absolutely want to rip their hair out. So, but that also gives me a little bit of joy, maybe some inappropriate joy, driving people crazy with the way I run things. So,
Yeah.
something else I want to point out: if you saw really quick Biso, you can set affinity to a specific core in SuperPi, and you want to do that because you don't want it running on your first core, or probably your second core, because the operating system typically runs off of your first or second core. So you want to basically make the benchmark run on a core that isn't doing any other work.
Yeah, so Speed asked about whether the OS is supplied. I believe if you go exclamation, is that the one? There you go. There's a command for everything. All right, so how are the loops looking here?
Faster than send still. Not by a lot, but enough. And the problem is he keeps getting not exact in rounds or something. So he keeps getting crashes. So we'll see if this is stable enough for a run. Hopefully it is. I would love to see him take first and start moving up the rankings a little bit, because currently Biso is down in, oh man, he's down in 7th. He's ahead of Sebi and Dede. But even a gold here wouldn't put him up into 6th.
Speed Fastest is calling it, this is going to pass, and he was right about it not passing earlier, so I tend to. And you just said that Biso is low down on the rankings, but in my heart he's number 1, you know, so that's all that matters.
So some people are saying there's some volume issues. Spit is saying volume is low and he can't hear me. I don't know what that's about. Could be something. I think my mic is working fine. I can't. Let me check Discord, because that's how we're communicating right now. See if my volume is all the way up on my mic.
Yeah, it's just Spit. Everyone else
yeah.
is saying the audio is fine, so Spit is just tripping.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And I apologize. I made the mistake of breaking the seal when it comes to the bathroom breaks, and now the floodgates are open. So I will be right back. Hopefully this doesn't happen too much more.
All right. Now I'm actually going to have to look at loops. Isn't that inconvenient? All right, let's take the opportunity to attempt to go to my laptop, which I'm now capping. Yeah, right. A black screen is not great.
All right. Back.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah, audio is fine, but volume is low.
I don't know what that's about. Like, I've given up attempting to fix the audio, because even when I'm at home, people always complain about it, and I don't really get it, because you have infinite volume control. Like, is what really saying that our voices are low relative to the background noise? That I can accept, but it being low on your side, or one of our voices being low relative to the other person. But if our voices are the same volume, background noise is acceptable, then just increase the volume on your side. It's not that hard.
Yeah, so Spit said he changed his headphones, changed the headphones, and that's helping. This is something I've noticed with OBS is it's not always, how do I put this? It doesn't always seem to work well with every platform like YouTube. So I don't know if YouTube has some sort of artificial amplifier for different setups. I'm not sure, but there are definitely situations where I think it's an OBS thing. And even if you turn the levels all the way up in OBS, it doesn't help. It's just an output issue. So with certain devices though, so like on my television, volume's super low, but on my desktop, volume works fine. So it could be just I assume it's just a device issue.
Yeah, so YouTube, I don't know if this is applies to live streams, but YouTube has, at least for canned content, has this kind of hidden option called normalize the volume or something. And that is kind of one of these magical AI things that sometimes screws up. So I don't know if it exists on this live stream version of YouTube, but it's certainly worth trying to disable if it does. All right, so another thing that happened in the break, I told you that a lot of things happened in the break. Not only did I buy a lot of food, did I meet Dr. Ian Cutler's, did I walk around the expo, did I go outside. I also hooked up my laptop, so now I can more easily look at the rankings without having to maximize and minimize 100 different windows in front of me on two monitors. What were we looking at? We were looking at 32M to get a reference.
Just as a quick update, Spoky got a Y cruncher running. It's not fast, but it put him up to, what is that, 3rd place in the comp?
Nice.
Let's see here. No, 1st place in the comp. So, like temporary 1st place, I assume, because none of his runs are particularly compelling. But just to reiterate, getting a score is better than no score, even if it's slow.
All right, so 1 minute 18 loop 7 versus a 1 minute 19.1, but he is getting fails, so yeah. Ski looks like he may be benching. No, he is not. Spoky also not benching. Okay, no one's benching. Let's go to the world record stage then. What's going on over there? We've got Bastian_NL in the very foreground, now ducking behind our faces. Behind him we have Safe Disc on a rig. Behind that we have the myth, the man, the legend, Shamino, enjoying his Visa coffee, talking to some lower employee at Azus that I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like the convention floor is filled up quite a bit too, so maybe this afternoon they're getting a bit busy.
Yeah. But and Bill from AMD is back. I wonder, does that mean
Nice.
I don't see a GPU setup anymore that probably was only the morning, but they may be on an AM5 rig. That's probably the reason he's there.
Yeah, I mean, they were running AM5. MSI was running AM5 yesterday, so that would have been, would they say, the 9950X or something like that. There were a couple CPUs where they got the frequency valid record. Something I wanted to mention, and this is maybe not related too much. Oh wait, is that a?
What?
What's going on there?
What?
Oh, that was
that was just my laptop.
Okay. So I'm going to talk up G.Skill here a bit, and this is not in any way because I'm bought or paid for by G.Skill, and this is not because this is their competition, although I want to say how much I appreciate the fact that they are hosting the only live XOC competition in the world, so huge shout out to them for that. But when it comes to benching, I use G.Skill memory for just about everything. There are a couple exceptions on the lower end. For DDR2, I and that's not because I have anything against G.Skill. I just haven't been able to find some good G.Skill D9s. But for DDR3, if I'm running PSC, I've got G.Skill PSC. If I'm running DDR4, all of my B die is G.Skill, except I've got some Corsair B die, but it's not very good. It doesn't overclock as well as my G.Skill kits. So that goes into a daily rig, not for my actual benching stuff. And that's my dual rank, and my single rank B die is all G.Skill. And then my DDR5 kit, I don't do a whole lot of DDR5 overclocking, but that too is G.Skill. So if you're wondering, G.Skill actually makes good RAM. It's not just us showcasing something because they're putting on a show. They make some high quality stuff, and it's actually reasonably priced, at least the stuff I've bought. Obviously, memory right now is crazy expensive, but when compared to the alternatives, it's still reasonably priced in my experience. So we've got some Evolve up and running.
Yeah, interesting
Hansky.
choice to go Evolve that early in the session. Does that... I'm probably, again, trying to psychoanalyze a little bit too much here, but does that mean he's super confident in it and just wants to bang it out? Or it could mean the opposite, that he actually is unsure of himself with Evolve and wants to dedicate more time to it. I would like to see an entire run. Earlier we saw a lot of starts. Was it Demon, wasn't it, who kept failing over and over and over? Let's check if this is a complete run. I would like to show that on the stream. Also, we got a small glimpse at the Intel driver control panel. I didn't catch what he was changing there, but interesting that he's already applying driver tweaks. That's good to see, actually, that this benchmark reacts to more things than just RAM frequency and timings.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what kind of score he gets, because we've only got 2 examples so far, and one of them was run at stock. So Demon got his stock score in, so that's something he's going to have to improve in theory. But we don't have, the only overclock score we've got is Black Dots, which is 5,097 points. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what he spits out here. And like you said, also interesting to see if driver tweaks are going to make a big difference. And this should be close to the end of the benchmark, I believe.
I mean, I have no clue.
Of course I'm wrong. Yeah. Like at least 32M, we know that how many loops there are, and it's very
although in 32M you sometimes get a 20-second loop, don't you? Or is it one loop fewer, or one loop more? Oh, Compute 49. He's hot on the heels of, if that's just his first run, he's hot on the heels of Black Dot with his first run, so he's doing very, very well. Black Dot is in the 5,100-ish range, I believe, if I remember right from the morning.
Yep, 5,097, so just shy of 5,100. So he's about 100 and, what would that be? 150 points behind, roughly.
Yeah.
No, almost 160. But still, nothing to shake a stick at, and it's way ahead of Demon's stock run, which is to be expected. Let's see if he uses GPU-Z. I assume GPU-Z is required because GPU-Z is on the OS, in which case Black Dot's score is not valid because he doesn't have a GPU-Z tab.
Yeah. So, and his RAM is at 9600 cast 32. So he's going a similar route to what Black Dot was doing. I think Black Dot was doing like 10,000. So yeah, high and loose, as expected for the iGPU bench. Interesting that the bench chooses to sort of show you a little tech demo while it's displaying the score. But whatever, yeah, whatever floats your boat.
But hey, that's probably good for GPU-Z because it will put a load on the GPU, which will show you the boost frequencies. So you don't have to run the render test to get that.
I didn't catch that, but I don't think he had a GPZ in there either. Black Dot says both admins validated my runs. I ran GPZ when they asked with the render. Yeah, okay, so
Okay.
I think what's going on there is that people are just kind of running out of space on the desktop. So the next best thing is to open the window, show it to a judge, and then close it again. So that's fine. That's
Okay.
totally legit.
Yeah, that is one really nice thing about a live competition is with the online competitions, the only way you have to validate scores is with the proper tabs. When you've got judges live, it makes it a lot easier to validate even if the screenshots aren't perfect. So I'm glad to hear that Black Dot's score is valid. That makes me happy, gives us some higher competition, especially since he's in first. That's pretty cool.
So Biso has moved on to Pi Prime, which is another bench he doesn't have a score in. Did he give up on 32M? Or did he knock out a placeholder while we were all evolving?
He hasn't put up a 32M at least in HW bot, so I would assume he kind of gave up on that.
Right.
And
I'm starting to get a little bit worried for our boy Biso.
Yeah, I remember, was it last year he showed up late to one of his sessions by like a half hour, 45 minutes, which was crazy. But he plays by his own rules for sure. He doesn't follow the standard protocol by any stretch.
This run looks iffy on first glance. I don't think it's very fast, but let's see it pop up. Yeah, 136 is way behind, isn't it? But this might just be his placeholder.
Yeah, I mean, save the score. Come on, save the score.
Hey, it's Biso. I don't know. You can never guarantee anything with this dude.
Yeah, it's hard, but no, that is a fast score because current first is 143.
Oh wow! But how?
He's blown it out of the water.
I don't get it. What's he doing differently? Let's see the memory tab.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah, we got to get the tabs open. But I'm very, very curious. Come on, show us the memory tab.
1,200. Cast 32. Nice.
Wow. That's crazy stuff, man. Let's make sure his other ratios are correct. So Encore is at 5,000. Memory, yeah. So 6 gigahertz. It's all valid, man. That's
yeah, I feel like what was I gonna say? Pressing the run buttons. Oh well, Benchmate is already gone. I was about to just disable our faces for a second to see the effective clock, but I didn't manage it in time. But yeah, I feel like that's a legit score. What else have we got going on? So we spent a lot of time on Biso. Remind me, the Evolve run was a Hansky run, right?
Correct.
So we're still missing Spoky a bit. Let's try and get him in there. Is he doing anything? No. Well, as much as I'd like to feature him when he's not in OS, there's not much point in focusing on him. I hope he's not having trouble.
Looks like Hansky's in OS.
Yeah, but I mean the few glances that like the few sort of sideward glances that Spoky has thrown look a bit pensive. I'm starting to get a bit worried for him, but it's still early days. Right, let's do a little bit more evolving. We can all do with a bit of evolving.
Yeah, for sure. And this is Surge Man? No.
Hansky.
Is this Surge Man?
Surge isn't even on stage.
That's right. Dupe. I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, Hansky is definitely got to get this score. He's got one score in, so focusing too much on this might be an issue. I understand you want to improve, and he does have a better score than what's posted in HW bot. But you also have a limited amount of time to get your Y Cruncher and Pi Prime scores in. So especially since he has to redo Pi Prime, might be worth focusing on that for a little bit.
So we
It
know
is
this?
funny to me though.
Go for it. Sorry.
Go ahead. I was gonna say it's funny to me how Sens was in first, but now that people are able to post more than, well, I guess yeah, he was in first, and now that people are able to post more than 4 scores, he's pushed all the way down to 6th. So this is where the tables start turning quite dramatically.
Yeah. I was about to ask if UMAT or anyone in chat knows, like, what's this benchmark based off of? Is it a standalone benchmark, or is it an actual game that they have sort of turned into a benchmark? Does anyone know?
It is, from what I understand, it is an actual standalone benchmark. So when they were developing this, they actually asked HWBot to basically do test runs for them, and so HWBot had a small competition based solely around this benchmark. So they are in very close ties. They're playing it right. The people who developed this benchmark played it right. And there were a lot of people who were upset that it couldn't run on older hardware because they wanted to participate. But I think it requires some level of ray tracing, so you need a relatively modern GPU even to run it. So people were a little upset by that, but I completely understand why they did that. And yeah, it's cool that they've collaborated basically with HWBot, which is why they included it. I think that was a great move, and that is an improvement for Hansky.
Doesn't matter though, like he's still in second. You know what I mean? Like, unless this tiny little improvement guards him against dropping to like third or fourth, it's not really right now doing anything for his comp. So I'm I tend to kind of agree with you that he should potentially move on to another bench.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I'm gonna be right back because that
he's getting that
still
validated
calling my
by Mr. Loud Silence. And look at that, we've got all 3 benchers in OS just as Matt leaves. Maybe he needs to leave more often. We've got Biso pipe ramming, we've got Hansky saving a score, and Spoky rebooting. So let's go back to the pipe ramming. I can't immediately tell if that's faster. But that's what I have my secondary rig for. If it weren't so slow, the internet on this thing. Pipe prime. Looks similar to the previous run. Two minutes 24 is the current best sub. So 2 minutes 24, that's 143 seconds. Oh no, the Biso run is up now, so he's competing against himself, and he's just thrown in about 100 millisecond improvement. So given the ultra sandbagging Biso is doing, he kinda should move on, I would say. And Matt, you just missed it. Just as you left your seat, we finally had just for the briefest of moments, had all 3 benches in OS concurrently. But then one of them, of course, rebooted. Let's see if the evolution of Hansky is complete. Yes. So I think it's safe to say, considering how good of a run he threw up in Evolve, he is now done with Evolve for good, and he's 5Bing. Biso is still pipe priming, and Spoky, I'm kind of starting to get worried for him. We are an hour or so into this session, and as far as I can tell, he hasn't produced a score so far.
He did. He produced what is that? A Y Cruncher score. So Spoky's actually in first in the competition right now. He's got more stages subbed than anyone else. Are they good? No. His memory valid is at 2800. Probably needs to improve that. But he has all the scores up, so he just has one where he actually has to get a score. So he's probably going to fill out every stage first and then improve. And he should improve in his valid just because he should be running higher than 2800 megahertz. So that's definitely, I get why you're worried about him. It seems like he's not having the best of times, but at least he's producing something.
Yeah. Okay, let's have another look. So Spoky is moving on to Evolve now. He's at the launching of the benchmark stage, which means we're far away from actually pressing run. So we have Biso back in 7-zip. He already has a 7-zip. This guy is just, like you say, he just doesn't give a rat's ass about anything. He's going back to 7-zip because he feels like there's something else to squeeze out of it. Let's maybe catch the end of it. Oh no, he presses rerun straight away, but I am still confident. He knows what he's doing. If he thinks he can get 7-zip improved, then let's give him that opportunity.
Yeah, but the 2 stages he's subbed, he already has first place in. Like, if it were me, just throw up a valid. He's already running at a faster frequency than some of the competitors' valids. And maybe throw up Evolve score. Those seem like the 2 easy.
10.91. That's definitely worse than his pre-score. There are 2 hours left. I still believe in this strategy. I actually kind of believe in this strategy a bit more than Hansky's strategy, if I'm being honest. This is definitely not a day-to-day situation. It's
wait, he's changing it to power saving mode.
Yeah, that's worth trying. Okay, so he's going back to 32M. So that is kind of a legit thing, right? If you have your system singing along and it's on better settings than it was previously, if it's on better settings than previously, 7-zip is a really quick bench. So he threw in a few runs. It was just like 5 minutes out of his session. I think that's a legit way to go about things. Let's take a look at the other 2 guys. We have an actual blue screen. There you go. So Biso maybe
Hansky posted a decent Y cruncher.
Yeah. I do want to go to Spoky though, because we really haven't shown any of his runs so far. So why is he opening up the windows before the run?
I'm not sure.
Was he afraid that his multis were drifting for some reason? I don't know. That's a bit weird. Okay, he's still applying tweaks. Oh. Okay. I'm not going to pretend.
Here's the other thing that I find funny is
what?
You and I would look at the FPS counter at a given point in the benchmark, or the frames at a given point in the benchmark to see how we're doing. We've got 0 reference for this. Absolutely none.
Yeah, I am going to start tracking the frame counter though. That's what I always do when I'm running stuff myself. So the last run was like over 10k, but power saving seems to tweak the 32. Yeah, power states have always been tweakable, and like in all directions, up, down, left, right, high performance, balanced. It's not as simple as more lenient power plan equals better. Ooh, there's a hand. Application crash. Ooh, he's even opening up the log window. Look at that. You've got a stack trace and all kinds of stuff. And he is satisfied that it's worth a rerun, so maybe better luck on the second go-around.
I don't know if you saw that, but at the very start of the benchmark, the FPS was very high. So I don't know if that's a tweak where after a crash you can, like a rerun really helps. That would be very interesting to see. That is the fun thing about this is this benchmark, you might accidentally stumble on a crazy good tweak. The other thing is, a lot of times if you're on the edge of stability with a memory, intensive 3D benchmark, you'll start seeing artifacting. I think I saw a little bit. There's a little bit of artifacting going on. Not very much. It's very subtle, but there is some artifacting going on.
Oh yeah, look
There
at
it
those. That looks like a LOD tweak. That kind of looks like some sort of yeah, LOD tweak. So here's the low point in terms of FPS. So I'm making a mental note. Lowest point 24 FPS. Now we're at about 9K frames, which means we're close to the end of the run because 10 or 11K or whatever is the end of the run. Any moment now. 10-7, 10-8, 11. Okay, maybe I misremembering.
It's still a little while. They've got to drop the egg, and then it goes for another little bit after that.
12-5.
This is a very hitchy run.
13.
Oh.
23 lowest FPS. 14K. 14.5. Let's save that one in our bank. So a 4.9 run equates to a 14.5 frame count. So this is Spoky.
Gotcha.
So now we have 3 people in the running for Evolve, right? We have Black Dot still first, and we have both Hansky and Spoky just under 5K.
Yep.
So that's worth. So what did I say? 14,500 frames, right? Was a 4.9 run. So, all right, good to know. What else is going on? Guys laughing. They seem to be quite relaxed on this side of the stage. I mean, Biso, he's a machine, but the 2 dudes on this side, they're having fun while they're benching. So
Yeah,
let's
and that
go back to both Spoky and Hansky are in Evolve. The last showed was Spoky, so let's now focus on Hansky and see what happens there. So for reference, about a 14.5 end frame. And we're in the 10,000s now, so we're actually reasonably close to the end of the run.
Yep, it does. It drops the egg, and then it does a quick zoom around the map again, and then it's over. It'll come back to the egg, and then it's over.
Are we sure it's an egg? Like, is it maybe
No.
a coconut? It could be anything.
Could
Like
be.
it's computer graphics.
I'm going with egg. I'm going with a stolen dinosaur egg that is getting ready to be hatched.
Here we go.
It's put in,
14,
like, this
14.1,
pseudo
14.2,
nest
14.3, 14.4. Slower. Oh.
49.7. Actually, that's an improvement for Hansky.
So, of course,
by
what we're
much.
totally forgetting is that the compute score was what counts. So the frame count gives you an indication of how close to the end of the run you are, but it may only relate to rasterization or one of those rather than compute. So not an indication of score, but an indication of completion state.
Yeah, so I think that's what we're looking at here, and definitely cool to see that he's still improving. He is now just over 100 points behind Black Dot. So Black Dot is first in what is that? Y Cruncher and Evolve. We've got, let's see here, Biso is first in 7-Zip and Pi Prime. And then we've got Sens for first in Super Pi and SurgeMan first in Memory Frequency. So there's a bit of a spread here, but I think that if Biso can throw up a couple good scores in all of the other categories, if he doesn't need to be in first in every category. So I think that he needs to start throwing up some other scores pretty quick.
So Speed Fastest asked what the driver score is. We don't know. Also, it's not relevant to the comp because compute is the subtest that counts for the comp. But if you're super curious, this is on Steam for free as a demo. Install it yourself and run it yourself, and you'll find out what the driver score means because we don't know. And feed it back to chat if you want. That's useful. Spoky and Biso. Everyone's booting. Matt, it's your pick. Which screen are we? We could just leave this up and see who starts the run first.
I would say let's go Biso.
Okay.
I'm really curious what he's going to get done. He's got a lot of benchmarks to like. Surge, or I should say, Spoky and Hansky are more or less on the improvement category. Hansky has a couple scores to get up, but Spoky is just on the improvement part. Whereas Biso has a lot of scores he still needs to throw up.
I have faith. Lumi asks if hardware info is needed. I would imagine that on first boot, they do pull up hardware info for the ratios that are not visible in Benchmade or in Evolve, but we don't necessarily cache on stream. So yeah. In general, considering those magical new ratios that RLA has, do provide a lot of performance uplift. I would imagine even for the iGPU that's the case. We have a ratio of 1 in terms of to competitors, right? So there's actually no reason whatsoever not to just record hardware info on every single time. Yeah, yeah, exactly, because there's not really space screenshot for it, and it's not, those ratios are not adjustable. No, there's no point in putting it into once enough. Imagine someone battling 15 rows, you'd have to open hardware in 15 times. Whereas just shown to the admins at the start, that's only open.
Let me know if my sound is stuttering too. I've noticed some stuttering.
Yeah, there's some sort of slow on.
I'm
attempting countermeasures.
Yeah, so it's definitely noted, and we're doing what we can to take care of it. So far, it looks like Hansky is not giving up on Evolve. He is dead set on getting a good score.
It wasn't 2 years ago, last year.
Yeah, Hansky is definitely not giving up on Evolve, trying to figure out what his plan is, because he's got a decent run in, but obviously you see Black Dot's score up there, and you're like, oh dang, I need to beat that. When Black Dot gets up there, he can focus pretty well on 3 stages. Time to do, but he's got the fastest Y cruncher score by a decent margin. So I'm thinking, like, if once he gets up there tomorrow, he can just boot up his Y cruncher profile, run 7-zip and Pi Prime, and then tune up from there, which I think is a really good spot to be sitting in for Black Dot. I think he's in a great position. He's got to put up some other scores, but he's definitely in. Once he gets those up, hopefully he can, and everything starts going well for him.
I just saw your video. It seems to have fixed the issue. I don't know if Discord was hogging my iGPU, but I mean, I'm still seeing a little bit of stutter, but it did things. Let's go to Spoky. He's on 32. Gotta disable this as well. Yeah, let's just work off of no Discord video, if possible. I'm just digging through my settings, but you're watching a 32M at the same time, so you're well entertained.
All right. Spoky's working on the 32M. See how he's doing. Pull up the current rankings.
I don't know if you caught that, Matt. I had to disable your video because it was hogging resources for some reason, like out of nowhere. The one thing I do notice is that for whatever reason it was streaming you to me in 1440p. Do you happen to have a setting on your side to reduce your video quality? I didn't find it in my end.
I can check that. Let me see here.
Yeah, and chat is confirming that fixed it. I don't claim to understand how.
Video settings.
But I'm glad it did fix it.
You started stuttering there again for a moment.
Yeah, I've shut down my browser. I mean, I literally just have OBS and Discord open.
Let me see if I can change the settings on my webcam. So I'm gonna disable my camera for now, and then let me pull up my webcam. Not like everyone needs to see me. It's not the most important thing. Most important thing is the competitors. So let's see here.
You can still hear me, right?
Yes.
I think during the course of me digging through the menus, I may have found the way of stopping the ambient audio from going towards you, which I think is going to be good for tomorrow. I also found a setting for my screen share with you. I've dropped that from 4040p to 1080p. I mean, I could even make it 720. I'm sure you can still read to 720. So let's do 720. Let's not take any chances. Yeah, so I've dropped mine to 720. I've also stopped audio from going through besides my mic. I'm still monitoring my task manager. Then again, I didn't look at task manager previously, but I am seeing about a 20% drop in my iGPU core consumption, so that's a positive thing.
So I changed some of the settings in my Logitech controller, so hopefully that has changed the...
Yeah.
I've turned down the quality and the resolution, so
cool.
Hopefully that can fix things.
Everyone's in OS. What a time to be alive.
Spoky's almost done with a run. Spoky's almost done with 32M. 23... 415... 4. So it's not a particularly fast run, but it's not absolutely atrocious either.
Is this his first one, or is he trying to improve something?
If it's Spoky, he's trying to improve, which I think that is an improvement. I think he was in the 424s before. He was 456, so now that bumps him up ahead of Hansky. So that's an improvement for him. Not a great run by any stretch, but definitely worth it just to get that little bump.
Biso is early in his run. Let's check in on Hansky's 5B. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to re-add your video, which is easier said than done. I don't want to accidentally drop the call. Okay, here we go. If anyone notices a significant degradation, please let us know in the chat and I'll take some countermeasures again. But I think what might have been the biggest drain on my GPU might have been my sharing to you in 1440p, which was totally unintentional. I just hit the share button. It's kind of weird that Discord like defaults to the absolute highest resolution available. Like, that's kind of asking for trouble. But yeah, now that's been cranked down to 720, I think we're all good.
Yeah, like you said, by day 4 we might actually be in sitting pretty on all of our settings. So Y Cruncher's finishing up. Oh, coefficient too large. No dice.
Talking about sitting pretty, I just had to turn on my desk fan again because you can tell that there's a lot of people in the building. The AC is struggling to keep up with the thousands of warm bodies.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, speed fastest.
Hansky
We're
did
not
not
actually
get that one.
talking about the output towards you. Matt and I have a share going on privately between us, which is lower latency than the stream. And that share, because we didn't look at the settings, was set too high. That's what what we're actually talking about. Okay, I'm re-enabling your camera here too. Spoky's the only one in a room, so let's focus on Spoky. Yeah, 5B is just a hard bench to pass, eh? Let's also get your camera back here.
Yeah, I'm guessing Black Dot's quite happy that he got his 5-beat run already done, and he's in first. That's got to be a big sigh of relief, because even if he doesn't win that stage, he can focus on some other stuff and maybe take golds in other ones that aren't quite so difficult. I mean, it's going to be difficult to take a gold in any of them, but that one is just like, whew, that's out of the way.
Some ultra tweaks going on here, digging through Task Manager, disabling services. Looks like Spoky is ready to spend the time on a final 32M. He's on thread 0 though. I just caught that. I don't believe that's the way to run this thing.
Probably not. That's a slow start. 3:23 is a bad in it.
But he's digging around Explorer concurrently, so actually I don't think he's actually going for a run. I think he's still working things out. He's emptying. Oh, thank goodness he just disabled UAC. Black Dot says he's not happy. That is the mark of a bencher, is being perfectionist.
Absolutely, yeah. Always wanting more, but if I were in his shoes, I'd be like, I would at least be thinking, could be in a worse position right now. Like, I may not be happy with my score, but he could be in a worse position, so definitely not something to shy away from. Speaking of which, I want to take a gander at his Y Cruncher score really quick just to check out his settings. So he ran 49.33, C32. So for Y Cruncher, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. He said he could do 10K, but that's pretty impressive as it stands. So wondering what Biso is working on. He's still going hard with the LN2. He's in BIOS. Spoky doing a bunch of OS tweaks. I wonder if I'm wondering what he's doing. I'm not entirely sure.
Page file. That was a page file tweak.
Okay.
So, Matt, when's the next Grand Prix, and who's going to win it?
The next Grand Prix is Monaco, and whoever qualifies best.
Well, that was too easy of a question.
Yes, it was. It was. So, if it goes as it has been, Russell has been qualifying well, hasn't been winning every race. We've had, what's his face, Kimi Antonelli won the last 4 races and is quite ahead in the championship, but he also has to qualify. The other thing is, Antonelli's still a young buck. There's a lot of walls in Monaco, lots of room to screw up. So he's really good at saving screw ups, but one mistake is going to put him in a world of hurt. And Russell, while not a driver I'm a particularly big fan of, he's very calculated, very consistent. So I think he's got a good shot of winning.
So here we've got a snapshot of Spoky's timings. We have Biso in BIOS right now. We have Hansky working on, was it 5B? Yeah, 5B, and Spoky 32M. I'm just defaulting to Spoky because of the capture issues we had yesterday. But if you're curious about the 5B, let me know and I'll switch.
I would say stick with 32M. It's a little bit more informative to watch.
Yeah.
And he's now checking to see if his run's any faster. If anyone's curious, that's what he's doing. He's seeing what he can do for timings, and then he's seeing how he's doing on the first couple loops, checking his previous score, and then seeing if he can improve on that, just so people have a good idea of what's happening. 690 TRFC, that's going to be interesting. I think everyone's run 700 or higher. So if he's running at a lower frequency, he might be able to pull that off. But that's a big ask in my opinion.
A lot of Black Dot supporters in chat. That's good to see.
I think it's about the time that France is waking up, so that makes sense. Europe is waking up and able to watch live, so that would be a good reason.
Well,
for those of you who don't know,
Matt,
Black
that
Dot
very
is
much
French.
depends on how much wine you had the previous night.
Ah, that's true. That's true. So 532M. Let's see what he's up against in sends.
Yeah, no B clock allowed, Lumi. The only obvious exception is memory valid.
Yeah, so he's not currently beating sends.
So the models out front have enforced a clear out zone, as you can tell. I believe that means there may be another giveaway for the live audience. I don't know what the giveaway is, but you know, good luck to everyone.
Even one stick of DDR5 would be a huge giveaway at this point. So
one IC of DDR5 at this point.
Yeah, Hansky got a 1B score up, 138. I want to see how that settles. 1B White Cruncher. So that is currently fourth. Demon has, or no, that's a 138. Demon has a 120. No, wait, what? Am I misreading that? Yeah. So that's pretty low, actually. Demon has a 126. Black Dot has a 124. Spoky has a 133, or 131. So that's actually not a great score. I don't think he even saved it. I could be wrong about that, though. He's moving on to 7 zip, which is the one where he was in first. Or no, that was Pi Prime. He was in first. So 7 zip. This will be his first attempt.
We've had various G.Skill employees get extremely close to that camera. What's the over-under on someone actually hitting it by mistake in these 3.5 days? What do you reckon?
I would be shocked if somebody hadn't already hit it and we just hadn't noticed yet. So that's my take.
So a very valid point from that guy JD. Spoky is the one with the placeholder valid, but this is the final session. Is he gonna just let that sit and focus on the other 5 stages, or will he go to the effort of putting out a valid? Because that requires, if you're gonna do it properly, it kind of requires a reconfiguration of your rig. You gotta pull a stick. So I feel like he probably won't have the time. What do you think?
I think that he's saving it for the end, because it's a lot easier to pull a stick on a cold setup than it is to add a stick on a cold setup. So my guess is he's got the right stick in the right slot for his valid now. He's going to get everything else done. Then at the very end, last 15, 20 minutes, he's going to, maybe 10 minutes, he's going to just throw up a valid, because that 2800 is not getting him anywhere.
So See some sticks of RAM being presented to the audience. I wonder if they're the giveaway or this is just some sort of like PR thing. I'm curious. I mean, not curious enough to stay on this view for very long, but I'm just trying to work out what's going on without having audio.
Are you telling me there's no reason to stay on this view?
Yeah. Safe Disc is a handsome fellow, I'll give you that much.
Absolutely, that's what we're looking at. So, yeah, I am curious. I would guess this is a display. They're not handing out that many sticks of DDR5 if they are.
True,
so.
true. All right, let's go back to the comp. I'll just throw the other channel in the chat one last time. That's where you can follow this half of the stage. Let's go back to our competitors and let's check who's doing what. So Hansky is booting, hopefully. Spoky is saving a 32M. He's in the 433s. My eyesight is failing me. 433s. So not a massive improvement, if it is an improvement. I guess it is.
It does put him above Demon.
Okay.
So that's important.
9800 on the RAM. Yeah, nothing too special going on there. We have all three in OS. I'll stay here as long as I can. Biso back to 32M. Spoky still saving his score. Hansky on 7-zip, which we haven't seen this session yet. Yeah, in one sense there's a lot going on, in another sense there isn't anything going on at all. No, let's. So we're mid-run for Biso. Let's give him his due. He's into the 1 minute 51s for loop 10. That looks fast. Let me just try and confirm that. Yeah, where's our 32M? So, Sen still officially number 1. Now let's get our loops up. Whoa, that's too much of a zoom. Yeah. So if Biso's run is still ongoing, he's currently on track for the fastest run. So 2:25.1, or rather 2:36.1. Yeah, he's about 200 milliseconds and change ahead of Zen's, and he's getting quite deep into this run. This is important. If this finishes, he's putting out a good piece of work here.
Yeah, but he's got an hour. Hopefully this finishes, and if it finishes, that'd be awesome. But he has an hour to pump out Evolve and Y Cruncher and Valid. Now,
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. He's totally. This is his game plan. So yeah, he's into the 309s. Yeah, he's actually still gaining on Sens. He started off 200 milliseconds ahead. Now he's more like in the 300 millisecond range. So there's pretty much zero chance of this finishing slower. It's just a question of whether or not it finishes.
Yeah, I mean, it would be tragic if it failed now because he's only got 4 loops left. But it's not unheard of by any stretch of the imagination. So let's just, everyone keep your fingers crossed. No caster curse this time.
We've all had hundreds of runs, hang on loop 20, 21, 22, 23, or not saving. So, yeah, fingers crossed.
So I've had runs finish loop 24, but fail on that last value output.
Oh, absolutely. And we even had one better yesterday. Do you remember Sens had a run that completed in SuperPi but wouldn't save in Benchmade? That's even worse.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You may have gone to sleep. I don't remember exactly at what point. There we go. It is official.
Wow.
He is about, let me do some quick math, 450 milliseconds ahead of Sens. This is a new first place. Now, no benchmate error. All he has to do is arrange his windows, and then the score is official. Is he getting a? I can't tell if there's. I mean, he's right next to League. I'm just going to assume there's a judge nearby to witness this. So all he's got to do is arrange his windows correctly, and even if he doesn't, the judge might point it out. So this is almost cut and dried now. And what did the trick? He's cast 32. He's at 10,000. What was it? 133 or something? No, it's 10,066. It doesn't look amazing in terms of settings, but his OS must be pretty fast, because this is a legit run. This is, and as far as I can tell, everything's valid. Yeah, where's the effective clock? 6,004.6. That's valid, right? Is it 6,005?
Yep, 6,005. That's valid. Right. He's got it.
This is as official as it gets. Biso is the new leader in 32M. I think it's safe to move away from this, because this is a done deal. So, what's next? Let's have a look. Let's go Spoky. What's Spoky up to? That is a slow run. You want to be in the 109s. He's in the 108s.
To be fair, that puts him in third.
Yeah, I'm not saying it shouldn't be saved. I'm just saying we've had multiple 109s, so it's nowhere near the top. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna rerun? Like, we're sort of getting towards the end of the session, so he has limited time left. Even though this is not a great run, it may be as good as it gets for this stage for Spoky.
Yeah, I mean, Spoky's in a pretty interesting position to where he's got the stages filled out. Now it's just about improving each one. And like I said, with Valid, he's probably going for Valid last. This is one where he needs a significant improvement, and then the other one is 32M, which is a longer bench. So I think he's playing it right. Maybe do another 1 or 2 runs on this, just put it in the bag, get a better 32M run in, and then last minute run up a good Valid score. That's my play. So I think he's playing it smart. Now, maybe safe, because you look at Biso. Biso, I would not say is playing it safe by any stretch of the imagination, but he's putting up some killer scores. So it's these different strategies are really starting to play out, and it's very interesting, because here's the thing. Even if he doesn't win any of the stages, if Biso can't produce enough, he has to produce a score in every single category, otherwise he's going to get knocked off the stage. And Spoky might be counting on enough people not being able to fill out all the stages. So I think there's a chance this is the better option. We will see, but oh no, it won't save.
Oh wow. Why?
I don't know. Oh, that sucks, because that is an improvement. It's not great, but it is an improvement.
Huh.
That stinks. The files are there. So maybe they did save?
Yeah, I think it's all good. Let's go back and try to see what everyone's up to. Hansky's down, Spoky we just saw. Let's have a look. So, justifiably, Biso is satisfied with the first place. He's not gonna re-bench 32M. And he's moving on to 5B, which is a wise decision, because that is the longest bench. Save Evolve, maybe. I don't know how those two stack up, but in terms of 2D, this is the longest running bench. So given the time pressure, this is a smart decision. He's moving on to 5B. He knows it's a hard one to pass. Let's go, Biso.
Yeah, I think this is absolutely the right way to go. Did it just crash? And
he got an error.
Okay. Yeah, if you can pass Y Cruncher, you can pass Evolve. So get solid Y Cruncher settings, load up Evolve, after you finish Y Cruncher and then throw up your ballot. That's what he's got to do, and he's doing it in the right order now. Not how I would be doing it, but he's getting it right.
I believe. I am a believer. Biso, let's go.
Oh, he keeps getting coefficient too large.
Yeah, as much as I want to keep tabs on him because I do feel he's very much in the runnings for the final. He's not quite at a point yet where he can get a run out. So let's go to the others. Spoky's up. So what's Spoky up to? This is, I sometimes confuse Hansky and Spoky. This is the guy who just put up an 108.6, right? He's still on the same bench.
He did 108.788, I believe. Let me see.
Yeah, the important part is it's not in the 109 range. Is what I'm getting at.
Yes, correct.
All right. Hopefully he can get an improvement out of this because this is the kind of bench if things are not moving in the right direction, I don't think he should dwell on it. He really should move on.
That's kind of something that you got to think about, though. You're gonna be these competitors are gonna be running a benchmark and get tunnel vision, especially if you feel like you can taste a better score. I can completely see that. We don't have that issue with the online comps because we've got weeks, sometimes months to get scores out. And so you can spend hours and hours and hours on one score. And that's kind of how overclockers are trained to behave. So their ability to switch to different priorities might be a little bit skewed. And they may not have developed that ability to just switch focus when things aren't going right. So.
All right. I can relay some information that, at least judging by what I'm hearing, Hansky is in a little bit of trouble. He's debugging things. He's talking to one of the judges. So hopefully he can sort things out. I do see him in OS now, so let's try to discern what's going on here. So he's also on 7-zip? No, he's not happy. You know what I mean? Like he just talked to the judge regarding the possibility of the OS being corrupted, and the judge said, no, it's not. Try other things. And also he asked for how much time was left, which is never a good sign. If you're worried about running out of time, that means you know you're in trouble. So I hope he can figure things out. Let's have a look at who else. Spoky. Spoky is the only one in the OS right now. So once again, no significant improvement. He may save that, but he's got to get into the 109s. I'm sorry to keep repeating myself, but if he's not in the 109s, in my opinion, he needs to move on to another bench.
Yeah, so another thing I want to point out, Biso threw up a filler score for the memory ballad. Good call. Get that one out of the way. He doesn't... He should be able to do better, but he's got to fix up his Y Cruncher and then evolve. So he's got a little bit of work left to do, but should be good to go. Spoky, is that an improvement?
Barely. If it is, it's barely.
Like, to me, that's almost not worth saving. It's such a tiny improvement. But you never know what little tiny bit of score might actually get you into the finals. So I get why he's saving it, but it's almost not worth saving. He's still focusing on 7-zip.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the right call.
So Annie asks, how can a judge know for sure an OS isn't corrupted? I'm not sure, to be completely honest.
So the judges do quite a lot of benching themselves in their spare time or whatever, but also specifically in preparation for this comp. And the benchmark selection for the final is kind of on the fly, but this benchmark selection has been decided over the course of months. So they have quite a lot of experience regarding what the benchmark likes and doesn't like, and what the pain points are when you get a certain error message, what that may be related to. So when Hansky threw up the possibility of it being the OS, I mean, it's actually not a big deal, the judge handing the second SSD to the competitor, but it is a bit of waste of time because everything's in M.2, so you gotta shut down the rig, disconnect power, undo that little screw, throw the second SSD in. So the judge was actually helping Hansky, saying, look, if there were a chance of that fixing it, I'd give you the SSD, but actually I'm pretty sure it isn't the cause of this. So they're still debating. Okay, we don't have anyone in OS. Let's just have a quick look on the world record stage.
Oh, looks like they're tearing down.
Yep.
Not sure if they were able to get up any world
Yeah,
records.
Spit says try another bench on the same OS. To be fair, OSs can corrupt in such a specific way that only one particular bench has trouble. So that's not necessarily a good way of testing it. So we now have
a good way of testing it, though, is load optimize defaults and then try to run the benchmark. If that doesn't work, then it's probably corrupted.
We now literally have a judge pouring on the rig. Wow. First time I see that.
I wonder if he's been asked to keep it at temp so the competitor can go to the bathroom. Because
Yeah,
I know if I was on
that's
the stage,
fair.
I'd
That's
have
fair.
to pee from time to time. So.
Spoky's in OS. He has moved on to Pi Prime. He's heard our prayers. That was probably still too much time spent on 7-zip, but now he's got the message.
Yeah, but the one where he's behind is 32M. So the gap, the points gap. Okay, so in theory, if he can improve to second place in Pi Prime, he'll get 4 points. Whereas if he improves 1 place in Super Pi, he only gets 3 points. So maybe that's the math he's doing. He wants to, that's probably it if I had to guess. He's looking at the scores, he's saying, he's in third place in 4 of the 5 categories. So he's probably thinking, I need to improve from third to second in one of the categories to get myself 4 points instead of moving from fourth to third in 32M, which would only get him 3. That would be the math I think he's doing in his head, which is why he was trying to improve 7-zip, why he was trying to improve Pi Prime.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it on the stage. What are we talking about in the in the chat here? Do what on stage?
They were talking about the judge pouring the LM2 for the contestant, and why that could be or not be appropriate.
Oh, okay. Enough said about that topic. I know what it is now. All right, so we are at just under an hour left. I'm just gonna take a little bit of time looking at the state of play, which is not that, but rather this. So let's go back to the comp overview, and we don't have like a sub competition for just these 3 benchers, but we'll sort of work it out in our head. So Spoky is nominally first, but that's just because he's the only one who's subbed everything. Doesn't take a genius to work that out. Biso's still missing stage 5 and 6, which are Pi Prime and Evolve, is that right? What's stage 5 again?
No, Y Cruncher and Evolve.
Oh, 5B and Evolve. So yeah, he's really procrastinating now. So Hansky, I'm more worried about Hansky though, because Biso, as far as I can tell, is still working off of his strategy, whereas Hansky has indicated that he's in trouble. So if I were to guess, I mean, Spoky's memory valid is rough.
Oh yeah, dead last.
So let me see. He's not last in 32M. He's third last. He is. I mean, yeah. Let's just ignore Hansky for a while. Like, I mean, Spoky is also like Dede had all that trouble, right? But like in terms of the benchers who didn't have trouble, he's second last for 7-zip. But you have to also consider the fact that Surge still has a session to go. So he kind of effectively is last in both memory frequency and 7-zip with a bottom half score in 32M. Now let's take a look at stage 4, which is the pipe ride. And he's also last there. And he's not doing all that well in 5B. And he's kind of middle of the pack in Evolve. So that's how deceptive the rankings are. Spoky's actually in trouble, even though he's currently listed as first. So Spoky's in trouble, Hansky's in trouble. So even though we keep harping on about how Biso is leaving it to the last moment, he's actually currently, of the 3 on-stage benchers, most competitive by quite a margin.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, he's in second with 2 scores missing. So
yeah,
he's got 3 extremely strong scores. Spoky, the way I look at it is, Spoky basically needs to count on enough people not finishing all 6 scores.
Yep.
Or at least enough people not finishing them and having a decent score. So you were saying he's last of the people who have subbed in a bunch of these. So like, what is that? Y Cruncher, he's technically last. In Evolve, he's not last, but theoretically Demon's going to put up a better score later. In, what is that? Pi Prime, he's last. There's a chance he's still going to do better than some of these other competitors in those stages. So I'm not going to count him out, but he's definitely not the strongest contender by any stretch of the imagination on the stage or in the competition. I would put him towards the bottom, but what he has done is put him in himself in a position that if there's enough screw-ups, he could still be good to go. I would say I'm with you. Hansky's in a really tough spot. If he's not able to, like, I haven't even seen his screen boot up in a while. If he can't get something up quick, he's definitely out of the running. It's just kind of like almost a repeat of Day situation yesterday. Yeah. I hope we don't run into that again, but it's kind of rough. Hansky has started off strong yesterday, but he's going through it right now.
Yeah, I don't want to count people out too early, but just in my opinion, we have 3 guys on sort of the verge of elimination now, which is Spoky, Hansky, and Dede. So
I will say Spoky just improved to second for Pi Prime. He's now ahead of Surge Man. I don't know if there's any hope of catching Biso at 2 minutes 16 seconds, but he's doing all right in Pi Prime now.
Yeah. But you have to be in the top 33% on average, right, to actually qualify. It's there's 6 eliminations and 3 go through to the finals. So you know, being sort of bottom half of the standings in most benches pretty much guarantees you don't make it through, and that's kind of where he's at right now. He does have an hour left, or more like 45 minutes now, but yeah, he's on the verge, sadly.
I'm not so ready to count him out. I think his chances of getting into the finals are low.
That's why I said he was on the verge. He's not. I haven't counted him out. I'm saying he's on the verge.
Yeah, the thing you got to keep in mind is, if you remember last year, the last round of the qualifiers, we were having to do mental arithmetic where if this guy goes here, like splits these 2 competitors, it actually bumps this guy up. Like, there's a lot of gymnastics that could still happen that'll put him up. I would say he sounds to me like the position Black Dot was in last year, where there's a chance he can get pushed up just by weird rankings going different ways. So Hansky's up and running again, but he's running 7-zip, which I think is bad because he already has us. No, he doesn't have a 7-zip. That's one of the ones that got pulled. Or that's the one that got pulled. So wait, no, he does have a 7-zip up. He needs to be running Pi Primer White Cruncher.
Yeah, hopefully nerves aren't getting to him. This does appear to be a suboptimal strategy he's currently running.
Maybe he's just doing a sanity check to say, I can pass the easiest theoretical bench that we have here, which I believe 7-zip of the benches, besides maybe Valid, is the easiest to actually spit out a score.
By a large margin.
And that is
108 to... Yeah.
So I think he's doing a sanity check here, making sure it's not the OS. And then he's going to move on to something else. And with that, I'm going to be right back.
I hope Loud Silence is next to Hansky's screen just to validate the score, and there's not yet more issues to be discussed. We have a lot of hair going on next to the stage right now. Two ponytails. I assume some French benchers because, you know, they're talking to Mr. Spoky back there. Okay, he's about to finish his run, so let's give that its due. $144. How does that compare? Spoky on 144. Well, I didn't save it, so not a great run. Yeah, since there's not all that much time left, I am going to take the opportunity and take my final break of this session. So I'm going to leave you with the camera for a minute. Yeah, Pi Prime is low and loose, Lumi. What happened in the qualifier, actually, Lumi? Did you compete hard this year, or just take a chill pill for a year and coming back strong next year? Anyway, Matt can read your answer. I'll take a little break, and I'll also, since the stage is literally on the way, take a look to see how everyone's sort of acting and stuff. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Yeah, I don't think Lumi actually even competed in the online qualifiers, because I'm looking at the top scores now, and I would have, even if he didn't make it to the finals, I would have expected him to be in like the top 20 or 30 easily. So that's definitely something I would assume. Yeah, that's exactly what I kind of thought. Lumi, you didn't compete. Again, I would have expected to see you up towards the top if you had. So, yeah, hopefully we get to do this next year. Hopefully next year I will get to be on site as was originally planned this year. And we'll have some competitors, new competitors there. I hate to say that. I like seeing new faces on the stage, but I also don't want to wish anyone doesn't make it. So, 15th gen. You only ran for 5 days and ranked 8th in the qualifiers. That's amazing. I couldn't even imagine that. Yeah, this gen seems to max out because of rare and expensive memory. That's going to be the thing. Like, you're... On the one hand, the expensive part is almost the memory at this point. So if you have a good kit of DDR5, you should be able to theoretically compete next year, even if a new generation comes out of platforms. But 2 days on Z790 and 3 days on Z890. Yeah, that sounds about right. I haven't run Z890 yet. In Z790, I've not had a motherboard to actually justify running, really, any memory overclocking. Still looking for Biso to put up a couple more scores and Hansky to throw up a couple more scores, so hopefully that happens. Do we know what happened to Sebi in round 1 yet? No, but you know what? I can DM him. He might be able to shoot me a message. Give me a moment. All right. I sent him a DM. Let's see if he responds. He had system issues. That's possible. I would believe that. Extra memory is still expensive, and there are new memory ICs that good, like Samsung B90i4. We're doomed. Well, in theory, if memory is still expensive next year, but you already, and there is a new IC, but you already have a DDR5 memory kit, sell your current kit to buy the new kit. That's what I would say. But you never know. Still no updates on the scores. It does look like Hansky is in OS running a benchmark. Hopefully he's running Y Cruncher. It looks like it. You can kind of tell from the dialogue next to the benchmark screen, or benchmark window, that it's probably Y Cruncher, especially since he has to get it in still. If things keep going like they are, we'll still be using DDR5 for the next several years as well. So it might end up being the same general group of people every year. That's true, but if you think about it, DDR3 and DDR4 lasted a long time. So I would, what is it, about a decade each-ish? No, maybe close to a decade each, maybe 8 years each. So, and we're what, 4 or 5 years into DDR5, so I expect we've still got another couple years out of DDR5. Binning $2,000 memory. Yeah, I sure hope it doesn't get that expensive. Yeah, DDR3 and DDR4 lasted a crazy long time. You're absolutely right. So I'm hoping we get some improvements here. I don't know what everyone's working on. I would love to be switching the scenes for you guys, but unfortunately, because I'm not on site, I don't have the stream deck in front of me to switch them for you. I hope Hansky was able to get a score in. I didn't see if that crashed. It wasn't focusing on it, but hopefully he got a score in and was able to save it. He's booting back in, it looks like. Oh, come on, Biso. Biso terrifies me. I am confident that he can put up great scores. I just want him to get the scores up. Oh, he's running Evolve now.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, so I just had a quick sconce at everyone, basically. So, on the world record stage, Matt's man is determined. He's still in CPU profile. I don't know how you can bench that an entire day, but kudos to him. I did catch a little bit of a discussion because Biso was insistent on running the iGPU bench with the display output card still in the rig. That's a baller move, but it seems to be working for him. And otherwise, I mean, Spoky was plugging away. Hansky was looking a little bit resigned, I have to say. So that's the intel from the stage. I guess you also caught my little cameo on my own stream. DDR3. Yeah, DDR3 is amazing. Not the subject of today's stream, though. No one's in OS. Oh my god. Let's check in on the world record stage then. I don't know how you can look as focused as these people have been looking for an entire day. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't have my bench sessions tend to be rather short, which might explain why I don't have the best scores. There's also a skill issue there on my part. So just
Only when you bench
it's a
3D.
lot of work. 3D is a nightmare. I don't know why. Every year I get it, and maybe even sometimes a couple times a year, I get it in my head I need to try benching 3D. Because if you look, I've got probably 100 graphics cards on the shelf behind me. So the temptation is sitting right there. Oh, he's putting it on my screen. Yeah, it's I've got a box of them on the table in the other room too. So I've got like over 100 graphics cards. So it's the temptation is always there, and every time I do it, I'm just like, this is I don't know how. I've tried everything I've learned. I've tried the laws, the tests. I've even volt modded and doing all this stuff, and I can't get anything to work. So I just need to stick to what I know.
I have so many questions. Is that a what's kind of above your duo there? That looks like a Sandy Bridge era Zeus board. And then next to that you have like a DDR2 775 gigabyte board with the yellow and red slots, is that right?
Yes, so that would be that is what is that? Oh, that is a Gigabyte P45 DQ6.
Nice.
And then the Asus one you were talking about is a Maximus something Gene. It is
Yeah.
Z77. So
Yeah, so I actually, even though they're both out of, like, they're both blurry and out of focus, I was able to somehow pick both of them. And the next to that, it looks like an Intel DFI board, is that right? With the weird, oh no, that's the heatsink. It looks like the slots. I'm about to eat my salted caramel Twix, by the way. So the funny story about that one was, um, I wasn't aware that there was a buy one get one free deal going on at 7-Eleven for this. And the lady at checkout
yeah.
spoke limited English, and she's like, "Yeah, 2 for 1." And I understood her, but I was like, "I don't want the second one. Have you looked at my stomach? I need to lose weight." So it was this weird interaction where she's like, "I can give you something for free. Just go back to the thing and grab a second one." I'm like, "I'm aware that's what you're telling me, but I actually just want to check out and get back to my booth and set up my screen for the afternoon." And then she's like, she got the second person who had better English to come in and be like, explain to me in English the same thing I already understood when she was saying it in Mandarin. And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I don't want the second one. I know I can get it for free. Just check me out, please." It took like 3 attempts. All right, so there's that random story. Hansky is in OS, so let's give him a little bit of airtime.
Why is he on Pipe Prime? He needs Y Cruncher.
Yeah,
Excuse
maybe he just considers Y Cruncher too big of a challenge right now. Are we evolving on? Yeah, Biso's evolving. Let's go back to evolve. Evolve is. Ooh, he has the window. Is that a tweak? Does he just prefer
I would
it smaller?
assume it is.
Does he just prefer it smaller, or does this actually score better? I'm curious. Oh well,
I don't know.
we may never find out the way things are going.
So Lumi, I wanted to respond to your 775 1366 wares. You can believe it or not, you probably don't know much about me as a bencher, but I do quite a bit of 775. I know I'm not trying to pretend like I'm anywhere in the same league as you. You are definitely always going to have scores that I will always be chasing. But I've got, geez, over 200 E8400s I have to been through. I've been through thousands of 775 chips. And so you're not the only 775 bencher around, that's for sure. Nuthead. That's what Unity would call us.
Absolutely. Let's see if Biso can get evolving here.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming down to crunch time. They've got, what?
What's he doing? Wow, he's disabling like game mode. He's disabling start menu recommendations. This is going deep into the tank. Here we go. The desktop res tweak.
We said this could be a thing. We said it could be a thing. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it so much.
Let's go, Biso. I told you, he's got all the tweaks in his back pocket. He just needs to deliver now. I can't tell if it's a fast run, but let's certainly watch it finish if it does finish.
Man, a lot of people are going to be happy that we're streaming. A lot of the competitors, if it turns out to be a crazy tweak, they're all going to be like, okay, we get it now. We get it.
Sorry, I just swapped to in-ear monitors because my ears are just glowing from an entire day under over-ear. But I didn't really miss anything. We're still evolving.
Yeah.
So
maybe I try refresh rate tweak.
I see some artifacting. The end frame of the bench will be in the well, it won't be anywhere because we have a crash. But for those who weren't there this morning, 14,500 end frame, roughly. However, the subtest that we're looking at is compute, which is independent of the end frame. So the end frame only gives an indication of when the run is finished, not how good the run is.
Correct. So I'm really hoping, I hope Hansky can at least fill out his scores. He's got Pi. Oh, is he working on Pi Prime?
I couldn't see.
Because he does have Pi Prime.
Yeah, he's not working on anything right now.
Oh jeez. Spoky's working on improving Y Cruncher. That's a bold strategy. I mean, he does need to improve, that's for sure. He's about what, 5 seconds behind Demon, or behind, I say last. He is last 5 seconds behind Demon. So, and Demon is going to have another opportunity to improve Y Cruncher, so he's got a lot of work to do. It looks like he's gonna, well, I don't know if he's gonna pass it, but it looks like he's relatively stable, which is good.
Nope.
I keep refreshing. Caster's Curse, man. I keep doing it. Biso got a run in on Evolve. He's got a score up.
Cool.
It's not great. In fact, it's last behind. It's just ahead of Demon, but Demon did a stock run.
Yeah,
so
but
his crazy tweaks may not be paying off.
Not yet. Biso is well placed in a lot of the other stages though, so I feel like I'm not going to say that he just needs stock runs everywhere, but he has a little bit of wiggle room. I feel like.
Yes, absolutely. He's got some wiggle room, but he's saved the worst for last. He's got Y Cruncher left to do, and he's only got 20 minutes to get Y Cruncher done. So, hopefully it goes well for him. Everybody, let's give a little bit of rooting on for Biso because he's got he can do it, but he's got a hard road ahead still.
I think it's 30 minutes rather than 20. We're finishing at 5:10.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's got 30 minutes then. Still, not an easy task.
For sure. Let's go back to Biso. Ooh, he's happy with what he got in Evolve and going to Y Cruncher, which is kind of the sensible move, which for Biso is unexpected because he never does that.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you think about it, this is kind of what I was saying earlier. It's like, if there are two benchmarks where I would be like, I'm not going to focus that hard on, it would be Y Cruncher and Evolve. Because Evolve, you don't necessarily know all the tweaks. So it may be that no matter how well you get your memory to clock, you're not going to beat it. Y Cruncher, it's like I can spend so much time trying to work on Y Cruncher, but the runs are relatively long. Not as long as Super Pi, but the runs are relatively long, and the yields may not be as good as what I can get out of the other 3-4 benches. So I think he's making the right call. It's just not in the order I would have done it.
Does the down clock still work? I mean, it's hard to ever accumulate any knowledge in Y Cruncher because the changes in versions are quite rapid. But at one point, or am I mixing it up with PyPrime? Which one has the sieve, whatever stage? Because I think it's PyPrime that has a certain point in the run where you can just downclock because it doesn't affect the score anymore. I think that's PyPrime though.
That would make more sense than Y Cruncher to me, but I could be wrong.
So he's on 54. We often see fails after 54, but things are looking. He's now on 73. So things are starting to look promising. Oh,
Jeez,
Caster's
dang
curse.
It, Unity happens every time, without fail.
I'll have to make a supercut of like half an hour of only Caster curses, one after the other.
There's going to be plenty of content for a half hour's worth, that's for sure.
We have both Spoky
Hansky's.
and Biso on Y Crunch, so let's leave them up for as long as we can. Is that an improvement for Spoky? 130.7?
Yeah, it's an improvement, but it's not near enough.
In the
Not
sense
even
that
close.
he doesn't move up a rank at all, or what are you referring to?
Correct. Well, there's only 3 people that have run it, but you're right. He does not move up a rank.
Okay.
He gained 1 second on his run. That's 5 seconds behind.
Let's go back to
closest.
Biso then. But
So
you
we
may
can
not be
curse
aware.
Biso.
It's so much easier for us to talk, big sort of competition implications. They may not know what they need in certain stages because they have to kind of, in a sense, commit BIOS profiles to memory because no loading of BIOS profiles or any of that is allowed in this competition. No written notes, no smartphones, nothing like that. So it's asking a lot of them to also expect them to know the rankings at all points. So yeah, I don't blame him for saving that run. And also there's the other implication of you don't know, of the people who haven't subbed, you don't know whether that second guards you against dropping a rank against those. So it's certainly worth spending the 30 seconds on saving that run.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, like I said earlier, he's got more to gain from going up a ranking. So, for example, he went up in, what is that, Pi Prime Stage 4? Yeah, he was able to pull ahead of Surgeman in Pi Prime, which meant he gained a net 4 points. If he were to focus on 32M, he'd only get a net himself 3 points. Whereas if he improves in Y Cruncher, he's going to get himself another 4 points. Now the problem with Y Cruncher is he's got a long ways to go. He's still 4 seconds off. So that's going to be tough for him.
So we had a 73% fail for Biso last time. Let's see if he can get further.
You just had to say it, didn't you?
No. Biso is so baller, he's immune to the caster's curse.
You've double screwed him now.
Maybe I've unscrewed him, like it just sort of loops around.
Oh, is that how it works? Good to know. Yeah, this is... I expect that if this passes, it's going to be a killer score.
Yeah, agreed.
That's how Biso works. he pushes it so far beyond he pushes it so close to the edge and just beyond most of the time.
We have a score. We have a score being output.
No, it can
it's
still
happening.
fail here.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening.
Oh goodness gracious! Let's see.
Spot check is good. 125.8. How does that compare?
That's first. No, that's behind Black Dot.
Wow.
Black Dot had a 124.1.
So he's got...
Still worth posting.
Yeah, absolutely. his strategy is paying off. Like, he's, what is it, 25 minutes away from the end of his qualification run, and he gets his first Y cruncher pass, and it's second. Is he saving it?
Doing? No, he's not.
Wow, this is next level.
What?
Even by Biso, this is like, he's got balls of steel. This is like, even by Biso standards, this is really, really pushing it.
I can't believe he didn't save that. I genuinely can't believe he didn't save that. That is the amount of confidence you have to have in yourself not to save that score.
I mean,
because
he knows his rig is stable. I guess he knows what his sticks do. I guess he knows the tweak he just applied, which we kind of didn't catch, is faster. So in his mind, he'd be wasting time. You know, he's just so confident.
It's so crazy, so crazy. But see, then you get this. Like, at least have the score up. That's what I would think. Oh man. Come on, man. Let's get it through. Let's get it to pass.
What was it? A 125 flat? Like, I'm trying to remember.
It was 125 and a half, I think.
Okay.
And Black Dot is 124.
So it's stage
almost
5.
Flat. He's 124.1. So I will say this: Y Cruncher can be very rerun happy. Not all the time, but it can be. So.
But it also puts out a lot of heat. So in a clock limit setup like this, that's not as much of a concern. But yeah. See, that's the problem. You get heat buildup in the PMIC, or you know, he's on the edge. Like he's kind of, even by his standards, he's risking a bit much here. Let's have a look what the other people are doing. Nothing's happening. So this is the whole ball game.
That's crazy. He is definitely a contender to win this year, though. I mean, even if he doesn't get, even if there are people that end up higher than him in the qualifiers, I'm relatively confident he's going to make it through
and
to the finals.
Let's not preempt the setup for the finals, but just generally speaking, each of the competitors gets a pick, a benchmark pick, and he is the kind of guy who would pick something more to screw over the other competitors. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's like two strategies, right? When you get to pick a benchmark, do you pick the safe option that you know you're good in, and that you know it's just in your like comfort zone, or do you pick something that is way out of left field, but you sort of know you're able to cope with that more than the other two? And I feel like oh no, oof, my camera just got frozen by that LN2 blast. I feel like if you know what I mean, like if he gets to the final, I feel like he would pick something super obscure just to throw off the other two guys.
Yeah, I wonder is there going to be a Hiwa special this year?
Absolutely, and there'll also be a G.Skill pick, as far as I'm aware.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, this is definitely coming down to the wire. I still can't believe he did not save that score. That's throwing me off so hard. He needs that score. But I would say this also puts Black Dot in a solid position, because if Biso can't beat Black Dot's Y Cruncher, I'm going to have a hard time seeing anyone do it. Sens maybe, Sebi maybe.
Those two always have to be in the equation. You don't know what they have like in their back pocket. You really don't.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I feel like Black Dot is turning into a dark horse here with his Evolve and his Y Cruncher score, because we've looked at these other guys. He's the only one to break the 5,000 barrier on the Evolve score, and he broke it by a pretty healthy margin. And he's got Y Cruncher ahead of Biso. So if Black Dot can pull it out in some more stages, I think he might. I think he and Biso would be the ones that might be competing for that third place spot, assuming the two former world champions actually end up in the finals, which is what you would obviously bet on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have nothing to show. Let's go to the world record stage.
Yeah. Looks like they mounted something else up. They're running something new. So that'll be interesting.
That's 8-pack with the salt and pepper short crop UK former bench. We also have OGS, aka Stavros, with the white shirt and the beard and the glasses, talking to people he obviously knows.
Yep, OGS is currently third in the career rankings, behind Splave and Seamaker.
So less than 20 minutes left. Let's see. Hansky is really on struggle street. Spoky probably in better shape, but also struggling. Yeah. Let's go back to the world record stage. We don't have anything to show.
I mean, it wouldn't be a competition if you didn't have at least one competitor just hitting a brick wall like Hansky seems to be. And this is what I was saying about earlier today and yesterday, is they need to get in the scores on their first run because they don't know what kind of problems they're going to run into on their second runs. I would say Biso, he's a legend. He knows what he's doing, but if he ran into some major issues that prevented him from being able to bench today, he would have been done for. And that seems to be the situation Hansky's running into. Now, Hansky did have the benefit of getting some of his scores up, but he's got 2 more to go with 18 minutes left. So he's definitely, if I were him, I would just get very slow settings just to get the scores up. I know that's not what you want to do as a competitor. You want to be going as fast as you can. But at some point, I think you just got to bite the bullet and say some scores are better than no scores.
I'm trying to ID that pot. What's safe to... It almost looks like an OG Venom, but it surely isn't. What is it? Is it like one of the European pots or something? It's not. It's not a volcano.
I have no idea.
I guess it's a T-Rex with a black top, which you don't see a lot of. Huh. All right. So is Hansky in OS?
It looks like it.
Okay, let's give him some airtime. Hopefully he can pull things together here. Someone
He's opening CPU-Z while running 7-zip?
He's still debugging, but let's give him some exposure anyway. Yeah, so that's not a real score, but it's still interesting to see what debugging he's doing. The new Bits Power pot, I haven't heard of that. Have you?
It looks... I think it may have just come out for I think it may have just come out like yesterday. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about it, but I have seen some ads about Bits Power coming up, so that's probably what it is.
So I don't know about YouTube, but on Twitch I have links enabled. So if someone has a link to like the product listing or whatever, I'll pull it up. What do we reckon Hansky is like? Okay, he's obviously troubleshooting, but do we have a sense of what the issue might be? I mean, he's to be 7K away in 7-zip is a lot.
I genuinely... don't click shutdown. That's a bad sign. Oh, that's not a good sign, because then you have to potentially retrain. He's shutting down his power supply.
Yeah, he's done.
I think he's... he might not be done. He might be doing a CMOS clear, but I think there's a button for that, so probably done.
Yeah, he's. I mean, if he felt like he was still in the running, he wouldn't be just staring at his screen like that. I feel like we may have our first elimination here, sadly.
Yeah, that stinks. Yesterday he looked very promising, was not far behind Surge Man. And this is kind of heartbreaking, not gonna lie. I hope he can get things up and running just to fill out his scores, but yeah, his current scores aren't that great. He's behind Spoky and everything now. Besides Valid, I forgot. Spoky's still at 2800 megahertz on his Valid. Maybe he should start focusing on that now.
Yeah, so I'm tuning into the audio a little bit. Even loud silence is kind of indicating he doesn't know what the issue is. He just said it's very weird. So, yeah, just bad luck maybe. I mean, sorry, like, yeah, you're out, Hansky. Great showing for a promising new bencher on a different board. The dream of 3 different vendors in the final is now sadly dead. But hopefully we at least get 2 different vendors. We have nothing else to show. All right, let's stay on this.
Yeah, looks like he's back in OS, which is good. Or no, that's
no,
bias.
no,
That's
no,
bias.
no, no.
Sorry,
It's not
sorry,
OS.
sorry, I misspoke. I misspoke. Don't come at us. It was not intentional. But yeah, it's rough seeing this happen, but it kind of happens every year from what I can tell. So it's not that unexpected. You just never know who it's going to end up being. And unfortunately, this year it looks like it's probably just going to be Hansky. Yeah, someone in chat said they think Spoky's in a decent spot and should be proud of his performance, even if he doesn't go to the finals. I agree, especially if it's your first year. You can't expect to get to the finals your first year. I think if you go and put up all your scores, put up a good showing, that's what you can be proud of.
I mean, Demon almost did it last year, but he's also an insanely good bencher. Now, not to take anything away from Hansky, I mean, he's somewhat disadvantaged. Let's just say how it is. Like, he's somewhat disadvantaged by the fact that he's on the OCF. So he did very, very well, but we have to call it. He's out. So eight benchers remain. We're keeping an eye on Spoky. He's also... I mean, both of the other 2 benchers are in somewhat of a spot now because the time is running out. But, I would say that Spoky maybe is in more trouble than Biso right now. Let's go to Spoky. 7-zip. Is that what he should be focusing on?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Absolutely not. He should be focusing on Ballad because especially if he's not running the optimal board, should probably be spending a bit of time on that. Now, I understand why he wants to get a better score in 7-zip. It'll get him 4 more points if he moves up 1 spot. And realistically, he's not that far behind. He's less than 400 points behind Sens. Here's the thing, though. Sens is going to get another crack at it. So chances of him holding on to the next highest spot are pretty low.
Absolutely. No, he's not in Hansky's spot, but he's also not comfortable at all. We're 11 minutes away from the end of this session.
Spoky, shut down, pull out a stick, get into BIOS, loosen those timings, loosey-goosey, max out M valid, and BCLK up with the buttons on the board. That's what you got to do.
Hard agree. Okay, I'm just
I
throwing in a refresh.
Not
Not that I don't believe you, but I'm just gonna have a look at the rankings myself to see. I mean, Black Dot is sitting pretty because he's. I know it's all provisional and everything, but he is in the final last thing stand with one less session than 3 of the other 8 benchers. So he is sitting very pretty. Surge in almost as good of a spot. Yeah, and then things get rough. I mean, Sens is bagging, but you can't always just turn it on. So Sens is not as comfortable as he was last year or the year before, I would venture to guess.
I would absolutely agree, especially if Biso can't get a Y cruncher run.
Okay, let's
gotta get it.
See what happens here. So what?
Yeah.
Oh, 6%. Okay, we're early days. This, you know.
But I agree with you. Black Dot is comfortably ahead in Evolve. We've now had 5 people run it. So he's definitely comfortable there. Y Cruncher is very solid, ahead of Spoky, ahead of even Demon. So he's first in those 2 stages as of right now. Like you said, best of the rest at the moment, and Hansky falling out definitely gives him comfortable position. I think, like I said earlier, I think it might be a race between Black Dot and Biso for that 3rd spot, assuming Sebi and Sens make it in. And then you also got to count in Demon and Surge Man. I would say
Sure.
they are probably just behind Black Dot as far as a contender, but you never know. It's still, tomorrow's gonna be lit, man. Tomorrow's gonna be so lit.
So venture guess, we're at 54% in this run. What is the slowest completed and saved run that Biso can afford himself? Is it literally any run right now, or is there like a minimum that he needs to hit in order to give himself the odds he wants for the final?
Oh, jeez. I would say anything. I would say he needs to beat Spoky, which is 2 minutes 10 seconds. I think he can do that even on bad settings by Biso standards.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think he could even come in behind Demon and still make it to the finals.
It's finishing, and if he doesn't save it, he needs to go to a doctor, because he's not sane if he doesn't save this when after it's completed.
I don't know. I've had it so many times crash on converting. Don't crash on converting.
That's good enough. That's it.
124. That's it. He hasn't beat Black Dot, but
please save it.
He's in. Yes. Oh, he's saving. Oh my gosh, he's saving. Oh my goodness. So this even like confirms my suspicions that Black Dot, his Y Cruncher score is better than you would think. He even thinks it's better than he thinks. Because
Black
so
is.
I can't wait
We
to see
can't overemphasize how pretty Black Dot is currently sitting. I mean, he can potentially even take his time in the second session and just put out what he needs to put out. I mean, yeah, sure, push hard, but actually, first, second, third does not matter in the final. Each competitor is on the stage at the same time, and each of them gets a pick. So does it matter? I mean, you can always try to play it safer and safer and safer, but it is actually entirely irrelevant whether you come first, second, or third in the qualifier. So he can actually, to some degree, I would venture to guess, take his foot off the throttle tomorrow. He's that comfortable.
Yeah, he's in a great spot, and you got to think about this. His valid is just a placeholder right now.
Yep.
It's like benchable frequencies for his valid. He's in dead last for valids, right? Well, no, Spoky is. Hopefully Spoky throws up something a little better. But Black Dot's got a lot of room for improvement there, I think. So I think we're in good shape. Yeah, Black Dot's sitting pretty. And there it is. Biso up to first, ahead by 43 points of Spoky.
Yeah. Just because of the sort of missing information with the other 6 benchers, like, I kind of called it earlier, right? Like, Biso and Black Dot are currently sitting the absolute most comfortable of everyone. The only thing with Biso is I mean, I'm I'm trying to find a sort of a weak spot, right? I mean, obviously his valid isn't super amazing, but I believe that was part of his strategy, just not to put that much effort into the valid, so I can't criticize it. I'm looking at the other 5 stages. I mean, we just by the White Cruncher, absolutely great run. Sure, he didn't break the 5,000 in Evolve, but I don't think that's necessary. His 32M is in the 4-minute 32s. That is absolutely on point. His 7-zip is in the 109k range, also totally fine. I think, I mean, I'm not saying he's qualified, but he's done everything he can. The others will have to put in some great runs to push him down to 4th or 5th tomorrow. There's definitely a lot of work to be done tomorrow for the other competitors.
Yeah. And let's not count him out quite yet on valid. He still has 4 minutes to improve that. So he could have put in because what he submitted for valid is benchable on some of these benchmarks. So he should be able to get into the 6,000 range, I would think, which would put him above Black Dot. His is a placeholder. Put him above Hansky and Spoky. Now, hopefully, Spoky's working on valid now, because that's where he has the most room to improve.
Just because so I missed one of the stages, which is pipe rhyme. He's first in that. So the one stage I didn't even think to mention, he is currently 3.5 seconds clear of second. So
yeah,
well done, Biso. Everything that we kind of prognosticated would happen has happened. Pretty much. I mean, like you say, or like I just mentioned, the only sort of critique is didn't hit 5k in Evolve and didn't work a lot on valid, but he may just have literally, that may have been his game plan to knock out amazing scores in 4 stages and just be competitive in the other 2, and he's actually not bad in them. I mean, he's beating the likes of what's a good example, Spoky in Evolve, right? So he's doing quite good work in those 2 stages, just not at the very, very top, and the other 4 he's delivered in. So well done to Biso. Look, you know, hopefully looking forward to seeing him in the final in 2 days' time. But let's see what everyone else is working on. Not a lot. Let us
Spoky.
Go to
Spoky. Get a better valid up. Spoky. Just hit F7 when CPU-Z gets loaded. Jeez, you're driving me crazy. 130. That is not... It is an improvement, but not much. Yeah, that's...
I mean...
You got 2...
We hinted at it earlier that Hansky was out, but I think we can actually just say that it's official now because he's not even in OS. He's one of only 3 benchers to have had both sessions, yet he's placed 6th. So that is like official now. Barring any wild, you know, arbitration decisions, judging decisions, Hansky has been eliminated. Spoky, you know, in the live rankings, he's 2nd. However, you've got to keep in mind that being 2nd with 6 more benches to go, I don't like those odds, because only 2 of those benches have to beat you in order for you to be disqualified. So, yeah, more than just on the edge. He's virtually eliminated, whereas Hansky is pretty much fully eliminated. I just wanted to mention we only have a minute left, so let's just. Biso's not working on anything. Hansky's not working on anything. Only Spoky.
Hit F7. What are you doing?
Wow, he's even disabling Spectre and stuff. So maybe maybe just to mention, there is the possibility of the valid files already being with the judges, but not submitted yet. That's, I'll actually ask. So my clock has already hit 5:10. We may already be done actually, but I'll just ask League to clarify whether there's still a valid to be put up for Spoky. That's the only question mark left. Otherwise, we're done for the day.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say that is going against Biso right now, I'm not gonna comment on Evolved because we really just don't know enough about that benchmark. Where he's gonna, the thing that will be his Achilles heel, in my opinion, will be valid because that 50-33 is just not very strong, and it would not take very much for him to be pushed down to second to last. Spoky will be last because he couldn't be bothered to hit F7. But
no, we still don't know that. Potentially that is the case, but I just checked the judges. So that's it. In terms of the production of scores, we're now officially done. It's just a question of whether subbing of scores is still outstanding. I'm gonna see if I can listen in and glean something, but yeah, we're pretty much done now.
Yeah, that guy, IT hat, I don't know.
I see Albie is just JD. Responding to me. I saw him hitting some keys on the video feed, so let's see. Nope, we are done. Okay, that's it. I think we can now fully call it. Both Hansky and Spoky are out.
Yeah, I think Spoky still did a great job for his first year. I think there was a couple things he could have done to improve, especially with time management, but very good showing from Spoky, all things considered. Hansky, I mean, that's just sometimes how it goes. It gets rough when things just start falling apart. I completely understand that. Sometimes you've got sessions that just do not work. Been there, done that. Not on a live stage, though. That's even more stress. So it's even harder when it happens on a live stage. But you should be proud you made it to the live competition and just chalk it up to a bad session and come back strong next year. And Biso Biso, amazing performance there. You have definitely given all the people coming in tomorrow a lot of work to do, for sure.
Biso has done Biso things. He's delivered 100%. I mean, that was a flawless performance in my eyes. You can't come first in all 6 stages. You don't have to come first in all 6 stages. As I already mentioned earlier, first gets you nothing in the qualifier. You just need to come top 3. And I'd almost argue that coming third is better than first because it may lull the others into a false sense of security. So that's just mind games. In terms of just the nuts and bolts and the facts of the competition, it is entirely irrelevant whether you come first, second, or third. So Biso has done everything exactly by the book. We'll have to see tomorrow whether the heavy hitters can keep up with that. I'm thinking Zenz, I'm thinking Sebi, potentially also the likes of Black Dot and Demon. And the dark horse now that Hansky and Spoky are out, in my mind, is Surge because he's on a different board. So just because he's a world record holder, right? He may pop off a massive valid, and that may carry him just about into the final. So I think those are. I don't wish to demean the people I haven't mentioned, but is that just everyone? Like, who didn't I mention?
I mean, Day, we never. He had a terrible session yesterday. We don't know what he's got cooking in the books. Yeah. He's in a rough spot right now, dead last, but we can chalk that up to having a bad session. He could just come out of nowhere and blow us away. So the only person you can really count out for sure is Hansky. Spoky's in a rough spot. I would say you gotta give Zenz and Sebi their due. You kind of almost have to assume they're gonna make it. But Surgeman, Demon, and Black Dot all still stand a chance. So I think that we're gonna have. I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm jazzed. I am so jazzed. It's gonna be popping off for sure.
What's the morning lineup? I don't have that in my mind. I'm just trying to find it on my phone.
I can pull it up for you here in a moment. Tomorrow morning is Sens, Day Day, and Black Dot.
That session will tell us a lot. Okay, Sebi isn't in there and Serge isn't in there. And Demon isn't. Wow, it's rough. I just don't know what's going to come out of these other six benches tomorrow. I find it hard to imagine that Biso doesn't make it into the top 3. But then again, we have 6 hours of benching left to come. So I don't want to predict at all what's going to happen. I think things are wide open. We still have 7 people left in the comp. Yeah. Let's shut down and come back tomorrow and do it all over again.
Sounds great. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. It's going to be fun.
All right. Thanks all for watching. That has been a lot of fun. I am ready for my massage. It wouldn't be a Computex without talk about massages, because we had that last year too. So I'm keeping up the tradition. Have a nice rest, Matt. Thanks all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And